welcome everybody. Quick little disclaimer for those of you who are new here. Make sure that you check out the description down below. There is a very detailed Google sheet that you can find linked in the description, and in it I detail every single move, buff, and change in this hack, all of which are extremely important because basically every single move is buffed or changed in some regard, and there's 130 plus new custom moves. So definitely give that a look. It's organized into categories. So yeah, that being said, I'm super hyped to talk about Wormadam, or Wormadam, however you want to say it. Probably Wormadam is more proper. They are really cool. So all of them now have the abilities Regenerator and Adaptability. And that's not me just going unga bunga, shitmon, give it 2 OP abilities. No, these abilities are actually extremely fitting flavor-wise. Regenerator fits because they are bagworms and they regenerate their cloak and they build their cloak out of their environment. And Adaptability is like perfect flavor-wise for them. They quite literally will adapt to their environment and put themselves in different materials depending on where they level up. So both of those abilities are extremely fitting flavor-wise, and mechanically they are incredible blessings for them, especially because in this ROM hack you do have access to infinite usability capsules. So what you can do is you can actually switch between these abilities when you need them. One of them is defensive, the other one is more offensive, and that dual stab with adaptability, even if you only have bug grass dual stab or bug steel dual stab, it's still really great nonetheless. And you might be looking at this and thinking, okay, well, plant cloak is still fucking garbage. It's still the worst. I mean, it's not bad, but you need to keep in mind that there are several factors in this ROM hack. This is not a competitive ROM hack in the sense that you can pick any 6 Pokemon at any given time. Pokemon, like there's in-game boss fights you have to fight, not a real player is my point. You know, you're not fighting a real player, you're fighting an AI with a set team. So for example, Wormadam actually has a really good matchup versus Hala and Araquanid, while Wormadam Sandy dies, kind of dies to Araquanid, while Steel is neutral to that. And also Steel doesn't resist fighting, and this will evolve right in time for Hala, level 20 being Hala's level. So if you're playing with level limits, which is what I intend for you to do, then you're actually putting yourself at a disadvantage technically by using Wormadam Steel. Not that it doesn't have things for Hala. I mean, Draining Kiss and Extrasensory, and just having that good bulk and Regenerator adaptability is great already. But it also depends on your team composition, especially if you're doing a team lock to Nuzlocke specifically. Then you're actually going to be stuck with that Pokemon until it dies, if it ever does die. Therefore, you might actually want to pick the typing that doesn't overlap with your other teammates, or that is a better synergy with your teammates, So it's not as simple as just bunga bunga, this one has a lot of weaknesses, it's bad. Not to mention, Buggrass, yes, it does have those nasty 4 times just weaknesses. I'm not going to fuck up the format of the video, so I'll just list them off here. Buggrass 4 times just grass and ground, which is huge, and he has a resistance to water, electric, and fighting. So in exchange for having a bunch of weaknesses, 2 of which are 4 times, it does have some very key resistances. So as long as you're smart when you use it, you can get a lot of leverage out of it. Not to mention it has really good stuff like Leech Seed, and it gets Strength Sap at level 30. The other 2 do get Strength Sap, but they get it much later in the hack. Level 30 will be just in time for Olivia. It'll be around Totem Lamantis type level, so having that for Olivia is incredible. While Ground, Sandy form, has Strength Sap at 45, which is in Ula Ula Island, mid Ula Ula, and then Steel type, having the best defensive typing of the 3, gets Strength Sap at level 60, which is in time for like late Pony Island, like most of Pony Island you'll have that for. So it's fair, it balances out. You do have a lot of other little exclusive things. Stat-wise, I haven't even mentioned their stat buffs yet. Logically, I kind of just took what they already had and just beefed it up a lot. And I didn't want to go too overboard because they are they don't make sense to have 120 defense on a plant form or anything stupid like that, because it's just, look at their designs. They are very strong. Again, 98 offenses on the first 2 forms and an 88 special attack on the Bug Steel. They all got plus 19 to their highest offense and minus 11 from their lowest offense. So that also is a reason to use the other 2 over Trash Cloak, despite having the better typing, arguably. Trash Cloak, they have different traits, you have different immunities, you have different resistances. It really depends on what you need and what you like and which one you prefer, and the move pool. There's a lot of things that go into it. Obviously, yeah, Bug Steel with Regenerator and Strength Sap and Cotton Guard and all this crap is really fucking great. They all have Sticky Web as well. They all have tons of great utility moves. Parting Shot with Regenerator is huge. I really like the Bug Ground on Sandy Cloak because he's physical, so he can use First Impression with adaptability, as well as U-Turn and a bunch of other really good stuff, so that's really fun. He might be the best of the 3 offensively, purely because of that dual stab combo. You could argue he's also worse defensively than Buggrass because he does have, I believe, less resistances than Plant Cloak. However, again, like I said, it depends on what you need. They have other really cool stuff like Z, a custom, a Camouflage and Acclimate, which are just better as you go on. So Zia Custom, all three of those moves give you an Omni boost, so they give you +1 to all your stats, so you become incredibly tanky and very strong, while a Custom makes you resistant to the last move that hit you. Excuse me, I'm stuttering a little bit. Camouflage matches the type to the terrain. So if you have terrain up from a teammate or with a TM, for example, electric terrain, Wormadam's Trash Cloak can camouflage and get that steel typing. And you can actually use Nature Power to get Thunderbolt, or you can just use like Charge Beam or something as well, or Shockwave for priority. Again, all these moves are like buffed or changed, so I would definitely check out the new effects. Like, for example, they all have priority with First Impression on all three, Leaf Flurry on Plant, and then Magnetic Burst on Steel. Magnetic Burst might seem kind of weird, but he did learn Magnet Rise naturally, so I was like, okay, give him Magnetic Burst then. There's just so much really cool, fun stuff here. Toxic is really nice for like totems and stuff. Quiver Dance is kind of ass because you have 36 base speed, but keep in mind Quiver Dance is no longer giving you a special defense boost, but it's still really good. If you can get 2 off with max speed, you can start to outspeed things. Blossom Dance is actually really good on Plant Cloak. 10 levels later, which is giving you +2 speed with 2 PP, so you get +4 speed, +2 special attack after 2 uses, and that can be incredibly powerful with adaptability and Earth Power for coverage, and other good coverage like Psychic, Shadow Ball, Sludge Bomb, that kind of stuff. Electro Web, even if you really needed to hit something specific like a flying type. You got great coverage. All right, it's a great offensive Pokemon despite the dual stab combo being kind of poopy and the weaknesses being kind of poopy. You have key resistances and you have a great move pool. Not to mention, Strength Stab at level 30 is so early on. I cannot underplay the amazingness of level 30 Strength Stab. It's really good. I gave it to that intentionally. Of course, I wanted to encourage the use of Plant Cloak. Although honestly, in my opinion, having a really good matchup versus Hala and Araquanid is more than enough reason to use it. It really just depends on your team composition, to be honest. Other cool stuff. I mean, they all have little really cool things they can do. Oh, I didn't mention Z Acclimate. So yeah, Z Camouflage is great. You get that Omni boost, and you can match the terrain, so you can run, Psychic Surge on a teammate and switch in. There's tons of new terrain Pokemon and terrain TMs, so you can get those up and get that Nature Power to get Stab, or you can just run flat out Psychic if you are, or Energy Ball or Kick a Drain if you're running the other 2 terrains. But yeah, that's super fun. And then lastly, Z Acclimate will give you +1 to all your stats like the others, but it also gives you Stab. It basically changes your type to match the move on the top of your learn set, so you can become any type of any of these moves. So like, for example, Bug Grass Wormadam can become pure Poison with Sludge Bomb or something, whatever you want to do, whatever you need for that situation. Pure Ghost, pure Ground, whatever you need, okay? It's very customizable, and that's very good because you become super tanky and very strong with adaptability, with +1 special attack, or attack in Sandy Cloak's case. It's really nice and fun to use. Also, Regenerator Leaf Storm is really cool because you can get that -2 special attack and then switch out, which is really fun. Again, U-Turn, like I said, is great. Assault Vest is huge on all 3, but especially on Sandy Cloak because U-Turn is really strong coming off of that. Not super strong, but it's pretty damn strong. And it's Stab, so you can use like U-Turn, plus First Impression, plus Leech Life for healing. Leech Life being 60 base power, but it heals you by 100%. You also have Siphon, which is the same thing, but special and a little bit weaker. There's so much good stuff here. Really, I could go on for hours about all of these little options, but I'm going to leave some of this up to your, I trust in the viewers' intelligence and that you can look up what the moves do and think of the combinations there. But yes, they also have good setup. Nasty Plot and Calm Mind. I did give them Calm Mind because they already got a bunch of psychic moves anyways, and then Nasty Plot is kind of just fits their vibe in my opinion. Parting Shot is a bit of a reach, but I've been giving it to like most Pokemon anyways, and it's great with Regenerators, so I just felt like they could have it regardless of the reach there. There's a bunch of little other things I could mention, but I'm going to cut the video off here. Again, I don't want to, I mean, even if the stats are great, like they're super bulky, Regenerate is huge, adaptability is huge, great Pokemon. Mothim will also be great. That video will be next. Mothim is kind of a lot more boring than these 3. I would much rather use one of these 3, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. Mothim is going to be very powerful and very fast and strong, so not like it's a bad Pokemon or anything. It really just depends on what gender you get. Lastly, you can control which one you evolve into because the rare candies are what you use to grind in this hack. Every Pokemon's caught at level 5, and you just use rare candies to level them up and learn moves as you go. So that's really fun. So you can guarantee if you rare candy in a building or in Sandy Cave to get the Sandy form or trash form if you want. And otherwise, you're just going to be getting the plant cloak because there's grass everywhere. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Hopefully this video was informative. Hopefully you like these buffs and changes. I, for one, adore them. I love bug types. I think these are just really fucking fun abilities and moves and stats, and just so many creative ways you can use these guys to a great extent. There's again a few more things I didn't cover, but I'll leave that to your imagination. Thank you for listening, and I will be back for more. Goodbye.